from Candy to Colin from accounts. She is an Australian superstar who does it all. Shakespeare to surfers, and now Swiftie. Jen Hegney joins us. Hi, Jen.
Hi, thank you for having me.
It's so great to see you in person. I've seen your work. I've seen, you're tremendously talented and such a treasure in Australia. I mean, it's an honor to be with you.
Thank you so much.
But I don't understand the Swiftie part. Explain.
What do you mean you don't understand? Oh, look, do you live under a rock? Have you heard of these things?
Oh, no. I live under a boulder.
Do you? There's this woman and she's called Taylor Swift and she's actually been singing for quite a long time. I think she's quite the icon, actually. Look, I am a self-confessed Swiftie. I really am. And I'm probably a bit old, although I think you can just be a Swiftie at any point. But I always knew of Taylor Swift. And then around COVID, Folklore and Evermore, which were her more acoustic albums, came out. And they were the one thing that kind of united my husband, my 8 or 9-year-old and myself. And we just listened back to back and I became a Swiftie. And gorgeous Sky and Scott, who run a company called True Heart, who love to kind of get great causes and put them together with fun times, really, ultimately is what they do, called and said, do you want to be part of something called Let's Dance Swiftie Club, where we're going to get a whole lot of people who love Taylor Swift together in order to support a charity called Share the Dignity? And I said, yes.
Why not? Might as well have fun while you're doing something good, and it's terrific.
That's exactly right.
Of course I know who Taylor Swift is. I interviewed her when she was 15, and that was an amazing moment because she sat on our set and played the guitar, and I said, this is a superstar in the making. And little did we know, that's exactly what happened. You know, the thing about Taylor Swift that I found, even at a very young age, she knows how to connect with people. By connecting with young women and having this massive dance party, and you can have one in Melbourne and also in Sydney. We'll talk about the dates in just a second. Why do you think Taylor connects so well?
I think she's really actually authentic, isn't she? Like, she's authentic, and, you know, I've known, and you've interviewed her, but I know people who've known her later in life. A writer friend of mine has met up with her a number of times, and everyone just says she is who she presents herself to be, which, as we know in the arts, isn't always the case.
Well, that authenticity really helps build confidence around a charity that you. Tell me a little bit more about this charity that you're involved with that's connected to this dance party.
Yes, it's called Share the Dignity, and it is aimed at ending period poverty in Australia. And again, I hadn't even really heard of the term, and I'm a woman who is very much a feminist, and I won't stop banging on about, you know, all things women. But it didn't occur to me, and of course it doesn't, that, you know, if someone's fleeing domestic abuse, if they're homeless, living on the street, even if they're just someone living with a minimum wage, then every month paying for period products actually becomes impossible. There are just people everywhere who month to month can't afford the products they need, which means they miss out on school, they miss out on work, they miss out on, if they're, you know, lucky enough to have jobs or go to school. Obviously the homeless women, they're just trying to eat. I mean, it flabbergasted me. And I was reading statistics like these people have provided 5.5 million period products in Australia to women over the time. And they put vending machines in areas where there's homeless women so they can get them for free. And we in Australia, I don't know if you did, but we have a goods and service tax for luxury items. And that used to be on our tampons. And everyone I knew was like, it's not a luxury, but they got the tampon tax cut as well. So just for everyday, you know, just everyday women, it's hard anyway to have your period, I'll just say it. And so this is just something that's going to really help people. And I just thought, what a beautiful mashup. It seems perfect.
I appreciate so much what you're doing there. And we need more of you here in the United States, because this is a beautiful message. It's fantastic.
Invite me over, I'll come.
Okay. My son spent some time in Sydney, actually lived in Sydney and loved it. And he has an amazing Aussie accent. So, you know,
that's very hard. Very hard because there's nothing to hold on to. Like your R's and like doing an American accent comes pretty easy when you're trying to, you know, like hear it. But Australian, I'm quite adept. You have to be as an actor. Yeah. But when you've got Aussie, it just sort of blurs into nothingness. Wow. And actually, I remember being on a plane in America and the woman came up and went, would you like orange juice or water? And I went, water. And she went,
what?
Just orange juice or water? And I went, water. Water. And then I went, water? And she went, oh, some water. And I thought, what's wrong? And then I went, oh, no, it just must sound like I'm having a stroke.
Well, the beauty of music is that it erases the accent and you can't tell where you're from, which is kind of cool. And you've also co-written a play called Fly Girl with Catherine Moore. And it's an interesting, Fly Girl, is that about a pilot? Tell me about Catherine Moore and why you got involved in this.
Well, Catherine Moore and I are work wives. That's what we call each other. And we've had our 3 plays written. The first 2 were 2 women comedies that we played all the parts ourselves, called Unqualified and Unqualified 2, which we're hoping to make into TV series. And the third is about a real life woman called Deb Laurie, who is the first female commercial pilot who had to fight against a titan called Reg Ansett, who had an airline, to be able to become the first female pilot in Australia. And it's an incredible story that's never been told before. And it was our first kind of sex discrimination act, which opened the door for all women to work. And she's 72 years old, Deb Laurie, and she's still flying commercially. And back in the day, which was the 70s, they said, we don't want to employ you because you'll run off and have babies and you won't fly for long. So they were wrong.
A real pioneer. And it took a lot of courage back in the 70s to step up and say, I want to be counted. I want to be a pilot. I want to be anything.
Yes, and she was 25 years old, and 18 months she fought through different court cases and won, and her determination was unbelievably incredible. And we have this play on at the Ensemble Theatre from October 17th through to November 22nd, and you can come and watch, and it's a feminist comedy.
So this dance party, it's called Let's Dance Swiftie Club Events in Melbourne at the Emerson. That's right. On August 31st. That's coming right up.
That's Sunday, August 31st, correct.
And then in Sydney at Liberty Hall, October 19th.
Yes.
Now, I've not been there, so I imagine these places are pretty spectacular.
Look, it's super. They're super cool, and I think I'm right in saying they donated their spaces. Amazing. So they're both super cool venues. I don't know the Emerson, but someone was videoing me for an interview and went, I love the Emerson. It's so cool. I go there all the time. And I went, oh, good. So Sky and Scott really have good taste. I mean, you can tell who they've picked to have the ambassador.
Of course.
They have great taste, and they get like places you'd want to go anyway, right? To an event you'd want to go anyway. And then you just happen to be also contributing to an actual great cause.
Besides the dancing, you're going to be getting dance moves from someone named Jessica Raffa.
Yes.
Now, I assume Jessica's a dancer, right?
She's a choreographer and a dancer, and she is in our version of Dancing with the Stars. So she's one of the professional dancers, and she's going to choreograph, I think, 3 dances from the Eras tour. There's a woman called Natalie James who's just signed on. She has a Taylor tribute show, and she's going to be singing 2 Taylor songs live. Wow. And then there's DJs who are going to mix music. Katie Weston and Emerald Jones are going to mix music for 3 hours, and then there'll be a 1-hour mega mix that you get to take home like a link. So you can just dance in your lounge room when you get home and relive the moments.
And all the Swifties will come home with glitter and bracelets and all kinds of tchotchkes, right?
Yep. There's a friendship bracelet making station, and there's this incredible booth that I believe is a world first from a place called Boothalicious, where you go in, put like a Taylor's era behind you, take a photo, and get a trading card of yourself in a Taylor Swift kind of vibe. I mean, who wouldn't want that?
Boothalicious is hilarious,
isn't it? I'm going to get one, and I'm going to take it. I'm going to hold it up to my. Actually, I'll probably have to take my son in Sydney. I was going to say, look what Mum got.
All right, there's the information on the screen where you can get tickets to go to the Let's Dance Swifties Club events in Melbourne and in Sydney. Yep. Jen, it has been an absolute pleasure being with you.
Thank you so much.
Love you so much. I can't wait to see you here in Los Angeles.
Thank you. And go to trueheart.com and get your tickets because they'll sell out.
And then I'll come to Australia and say, hey, I need a tour.
You're invited to come to the party also.
Thank you so much. Enjoy. Go Swifties.